Did you ever find out who initially suggested your name to WWE management to bring you in for an audition in the first place?
I was never told, but I'm pretty sure it was Road Dogg
Really?
because I did a deal in TNA where I had the Awesome Kong and I gave her a manager, a female manager, and we were bogged down in Iraq. And I made her like an Islamic character, which had never been done and still hasn't been done, other than WWE maybe doing Ali's and. But I put her under the veil and everything, and I called her Raisha Saeed, and it got over. The only thing I required out of that, I says, I do not want to. I don't want her touched. I don't want her knocked down. I don't want her veil yanked. We got to respect that because they can probably cause us a lot of problems with the TV station. But and he liked that. He really liked, and he wanted to say he would come to me every week. What we got for Raisha? He liked her better than Khan, but and you can still find pieces of that. So when you see it the first time, I've never seen it on a wrestling show. A woman manager, Islamic manager. Have you ever seen that before?
Not to my knowledge.
And I did very, very little with her. I never, because Kong won her own battles. So it came to a point to where I just had to put her into a match because of creative babbling, I call it. You know, we got to put her in a match. I said, that's not what I invented her for. And he said, well, what'd you invent her for? I said, exactly what she's doing right now. I said, you're going to put her in there. And I said, I think the mystique that we built around her, we still had another year to go with her. So she had done nothing. She did maybe an interview one time. She didn't speak whatever the language they speak over there in the Middle East. But I had her do it in broken English, which was okay. It wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, but it was different. Let me say that. And Road Dogg really, really liked that because he was in Iraq. Road Dogg said he went into Iraq, he pitched the camp, the tent, all the deal, and he said for the next 9 months, he didn't leave that spot. He said the war happened all in front of him, and he just stayed back. I said, what'd you do? He said, nothing. I didn't do nothing. He said, I went to chow and I went to eat. We had drills and we had to work out, and that's it. I slept in the tent. But he said, I was over there. I didn't really do anything. I like to talk to him about that because his father was in the military, Bob, and he's from Pensacola, which has a huge military presence. They have the Pensacola Naval Station there, and maybe a few small Army base or an Air Force base. And he was always around military people. And I think he went into the Marines, is what he went into. And I think he spent 4 years in the Marines and came right out and got into wrestling. Funny how that stuff happens.
Yeah, I believe he actually was in wrestling first, very briefly. Then he went to the Marines. Yeah. Then he came back.
Well, he was in the wrestling family.
Yeah.
And all his brothers were in it. You know, Brad was in it, and his other two brothers were in it. So he came. Steve, and what's the other's name?
Scott, I think, is it?
Scott, yep. They were all into wrestling. And he was the youngest. That's probably why he didn't, but he wanted to go and serve the country. Because he's really like a patriotic guy. And he don't take no crap. And he's funny as hell till you mess with him. When you mess with him and you see his temper come out, then you're back off. But it's hard to see that when he's kidding around. But when you push him, I've seen him, guys push on him, and he just tell them straight up. He said, oh, you don't go there, we got a problem.
Who pushed on
And
Road Dogg? I mean, he's generally like the most upbeat guy in the world.
Yeah, he is till he gets mad. And when he gets mad, I mean, he's a pretty rough guy. But he saves that the times he needs it. I never messed with him, but I always liked him. He's a good guy, really good guy.
Yeah,
and he's another one. He's another one of those guys. He's never met a stranger. He's like Pritchard, and he's like JBL, and he's like Robert and Ron Fuller, and he's the same way. That's why people like him so much, because he takes an interest in you, the person, and when he's trying to help you, you automatically feel that he's doing it honestly, in earnest. He really wants to help you.